Man, I gotta tell y'all, I get really tired myself. You may get tired of hearing it, but I'm definitely getting tired of saying it. And I've been saying this since last August of 2021. It's like every single day, we're just getting T-boned one way or another. And it hasn't let up. Now do you know what's going on? Let's talk about it. So apparently yesterday, actually it would be Sunday, today's Tuesday, so you have failed negotiations, and this is all coming out in the news today, about failed negotiations with the railway system in Canada. And I myself am trying to wrangle up all this information because one of you lucky, wonderful, beautiful followers, I don't know if you're lucky, I don't know why, you're lucky, you're here, asked me some questions this morning about the fertilizer, and I was trying to read comments from my last video, yet I was like, trying to clean up, hop in the shower to go run errands, so I didn't do any investigation situation there at that time. At lunch, I started reading a few things, and boom, what do we have going on? It's just like this. If you're not awake enough to know that you need to go get that a little bit of Spam and Beanie Weenie on the shelf, I just don't know if there's, I just don't know what to say to people anymore. We are in such a critical situation. It's not even just like a regional thing. This is here in the entire world is in a critical state. And it's not because of just one thing. It's a multitude of problems, and there have been multitudes of problems. And, then you have people and failed leadership that do nothing to fix these things, and then, y'all, how are we going to eat corn on the cob next year? I mean, I guess you're not unless you grow it yourself. So what we're talking about is negotiations for Teamsters. It's about their pensions. And apparently this has just really come about and halted everything within the last 48 hours. I'm going to link the articles. I just got done giving him the bottle. You see, we're working, mamas. So apparently the negotiations failed. And what you're talking about is the major railway system that basically delivers fertilizer through Canada and down to here. To give you just a basic keynote situation. And so you can read the articles. Hopefully by the time this gets put up, there's no issue. The world really can't afford an issue. So, I want to tell you this because maybe you've seen it, maybe you don't. I do not know if it's on mainstream news or not. I don't really turn on the TV, y'all. So I don't know, and I've been busy today, but that's not, okay, so yes, the issue of transport of fertilizer with all the problems that we have with fertilizer already, the shortages that we have coming, all of these things that we've been talking about here at Appalachia's Homestead since last September and October. Go back, you're going to see that I was talking about these things then. People thought I was crazy then. Maybe that hasn't changed, but it looks like there's a little something to what this little girl's telling you. Here is where my mind went, though. This is what you need. This should send shockwaves up your spine. We already have a major supply chain issue. Please do not get comfortable in thinking, oh, I went to Sam's yesterday and it looked just fine. It may look just fine today, but if things don't quickly turn around, and many of you know this, I'm speaking to the choir, but there's a lot of you that I'm not sure you really still believe it. The problem with not believing it is the time in which you start to believe it, it may be, is it going to be too late to try to help yourself? Or will you even be able to afford to help yourself? Because see, all of these elements are coming, all are just swirling around with each other. Supply chain, gas prices, inflation, Ukraine, grain shortages. Now we have disputes. So what this really exposes is that you are in a very compromised, a very crippled, a very critical situation with getting food. I decided to step in here. It's getting really windy. All of that weather from Texas and all that's starting to blow this way, so it's really, really windy. Here's what so I see these articles and I see these questions and I looked it up. And like I said, for the third or fifth time, please let it go away. Please, Lord. Your food supply is so intricately connected to everything that's going on. You do not go to Walmart and just pick up your food and it was made in the back and kumbaya. When farmers can't afford to farm, when farmers can't get their supply, when farmers cut back production just so they can survive, we're already seeing that here. I know people that are cutting back. They're already saying we're cutting back. No, we're not going to do hay. We're not cutting hay. I look to see at this point with fertilizer and all the problems that are happening with gas. Folks, us small farmers, if you're like me, we're going to really be hurting for hay. If you buy hay coming up in the summer and fall, expect it. We're already expecting this major hit. We're trying to prepare for that. But then again, when you look at We Are the World is fed by major farming ag institutions, basically. And when they are not able to do what they need to do, which needs to be done right now, planting right now, and this is true, and these articles talk about this, planting happens pretty much starting now in the United States. Canada is going to be, from what I understand, within the next 4 to 6 weeks or so. If this doesn't get resolved, then what's going to happen then? You'll miss planting season. That doesn't sound like a positive. Think about this. Gas prices, grain shortages already. Then you have Russia going into Ukraine, which has compounded that problem. You're not feeling it yet. We're not feeling it yet. You have to think out. These things are happening now. So what will everything look like in 45 days, 90 days, 180 days? What is everything going to look like looking out? This is why I continue to tell you to please continue to buy food. Some of you out there I've gotten like 2 people. But let's just address it while we're at it. They don't want me talking about this. They want me showing how to make like strawberry jam. I've already done a video on that. I'm pretty sure if you can look through my videos and find out how to make all kinds of jams and jellies and breads and stuff like that. So that content is there. Here's the thing. If we can't get the supplies that we need, we can't have a farm. If Jim Bob down the road, who's a big farmer, doesn't farm, you may not get what you buy from him. We're all in this together, people. We all need to be taking care of each other. We all need to be continuing to think about how delicate the food chain is. Just because you haven't necessarily fully felt it yet, you're feeling higher prices, you're mad at the gas pump. But when it gets to the point where you go, there's no flour. Where's the flour? How come I can't buy flour? What's that going to be like for you or for your mom and for your children on that day, if and when that happens? What is your plan? So basically what I'm trying to tell you is you are in a constellation of twilight zone. We are living in a catastrophic constellation twilight zone. All of these individual things that keep happening every day, every other day, it's like something new all the time. And when they all start connecting and connecting to each other, it's going to be a weight that a lot of us cannot endure. It's going to pull us down. I pray every single day, multiple times, that this never happens. We talk about this all the time here. We need to have these conversations. And to the 1 or 2 people that are like, why can't you just go back to being the way you used to be? Well, okay, first of all, I've always been this way. we just weren't in a scenario like this where you saw me express my concern. I want to feed my kids. I want you to feed your kids. So that's what I'm going to talk about from time to time. I know how delicate it is and difficult it can be to grow food successfully. I don't think a lot of people understand that. A lot of you do because you do too. But we're talking about the majority here. So when you say, or when it is said that supply chain, grain shortages, inflation, stagflation, hyperinflation, what's going on with currency, when you start putting all of these things together, that's a recipe for disaster. And don't say that I'm trying to fearmonger and that I'm trying to scare you and to get you to go hoarding food today. That is not true. Because the reality is, if you were listening to me 5, 6 years ago, if you were just listening to me 6 months ago and you started doing what you should be doing as a responsible adult for your pantry and for your family, nobody would have to hoard anything because everybody would start getting things as they needed over time. So I'm absolutely, I am pushing back on that. I rebuke that. I will not accept that. Only those that are not doing for themselves are the ones that are crying about those that are. Now, granted, there are exceptions of people that have a difficult time doing, but you know what? I see you, and those are the ones that are actually trying the hardest. They're trying to be the most creative. I have little means, or I live in an apartment, or I'm disabled, but I'm doing this, I'm trying this, I'm getting this. Patera, what else can I do? They're trying the hardest. So shame on you if you're not. But guys, you have got to keep an eye on the ball in terms of do not let up. Do not let up. Pay attention to what's going on with the food supply. We are already in a critical state. We really, really are. It's going to be about whether you feed your dog, whether we feed our horses. I like it when somebody says, well, if you think gas prices are so bad, why don't you get a horse? Have you checked out the price of hay and the price of horse feed lately? See, it's all interconnected. Nobody's getting out of this. She's telling you too. So I wanted to drop these articles off. She wants to come down here and play. I'm going to drop these articles off. If it has changed, let me know. Now, I could cut these. A lot of you have questions about potatoes real quick. About you have to cut them. No, you don't have to cut them. A lot of people cut them because they want to extend these seeds. I'm going to go with what I've got here because these are older. So, but they're growing good. But yeah, I can easily cut that in half right there. Now, here's something else though. Once I cut it, some people go ahead and throw it in the ground. I like to let them heal over, okay? Boy, she wants to come down here and play. All right, guys, got her done. Come on, rain. We can take a little bit of rain right now. That hay bale right there is over 2 years old, so it's old hay. It's going to be the base of my next lasagna garden. The first one, a lot of you are asking to see, is doing really good. Okay, Enoli. Guys, we're going to have to go see. Are you excited? Say hi, everybody. Oh, my gosh. Okay. Alrighty, guys. I think we're going to call it a day. Please keep your eye on everything. Let me know what you think. Stories come out, and then, you know, things can get worse or can get better. Let's pray that things get better really, really quick. But keep doing what you're doing. Don't stop. This is a community here, and it's the best one. I'm telling you right now, my followers, this audience, you guys are amazing. And you guys are awake, and you're going to be the ones that truly, truly change the world. I know that, and it's because you're awake and because you understand and because you want to help. So we're going to keep an eye on everything. Stay busy. We'll see you on the next video.